Merry belated Christmas, everyone. Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to the 1985 demo game in Season Ticket Baseball. If you're familiar with the inside pitch demo games that RJL Network does, we're doing the exact same thing here. The only difference is there are two differences here. First, instead of inside pitch, this is going to be a demo game for Season Ticket Baseball by Sports Mogul Incorporated. And the second difference is instead of featuring the historical World Series teams, we're going to feature the World Series teams from my last replay, which in this case was my 1991 replay of payoff pitch baseball between the Oakland Athletics and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, the Pirates won that replay's World Series, so they will get to be the home team. Originally, this was going to serve as a way for the commissioner of Phoenix Knight Network to get booed out of the building as he presented the banner from the World Series replay. But as I featured the Pirates in an exhibition game earlier during when I was doing another round of baseball testing, we presented the banner at that point. So we don't have to worry about presenting the banner in this one. But as far as what we're doing with the demo game, we're going to play a nice, slow, steady game of Season Ticket Baseball for any of you who might be curious about it to see how the game plays. It's also helpful for me to help me knock some rust off with this game. As well, it's been about a week since I've played it, and I'm going to be playing it a lot. So I want to make sure I get everything nailed down as much as I can. And speaking of which, I need to go find the rule book, so bear with me on that. Fortunately, I know exactly where I keep that. I mostly need the rare plays and my quick reference sheets out of here. So I want to make sure I've got those ready to go for me. So this is going to be a little bit more of a chill stream. I am also getting a rep in with Digital Diamond just to continue getting used to that a little bit more. This is going to be a little bit more of a chill stream where I'll answer questions you guys might have about Season Ticket Baseball, but I'm also open for AMA questions. Again, let's use the regular rule on AMA questions. If you don't want it asked of you, don't ask it of me. So we'll do it. So we'll tag them this way. So if you're in chat, go ahead and tag your questions in that way. If you tag it with an ST, I'll know it's a season ticket question. AMA is an Ask Me Anything question, but again, the AMA rules are still going to apply for this one. If you don't want it asked of you, don't ask it of me. So with that out of the way, let's jump into this game of Season Ticket Baseball. So the first thing we're going to do is if everybody in the stadium will please rise and remove their hats and everything like that, we will have the playing of our national anthem. Thank you for your indulgence on that. And now I think we are all set to get into this demo game, so let's jump in. First thing we'll do is we'll introduce our starting pitcher. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, our starting pitcher is _𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. Back in 1985, he had a 14-8 record with a 2.27 ERA, 194 innings pitched, 138 strikeouts, 52 walks, and 7 homers in 1985. A lot of information on the pitcher card. Well, actually on all of the player cards. We'll go through all of that as it becomes relevant to the game. We also are going to be at Three Rivers Stadium, as the Pirates are the home team. Each team comes with a stadium sheet. These are available on seasonticketgames.com for download, so you can grab those from there. And now, as the Pirates start to take the field, we're going to take our first look at Oakland's starting lineup in this demo game. Leading off for the Athletics, we've got Dave Collins in left field. Mike Heath is catching. Mike Davis is in right field. Bruce Bochy is at first base. Jose Canseco is in center field. Tony Phillips is at third base. Alfredo Griffin is at shortstop. Rob Picciolo is at second base. And our starting pitcher, Chris Cottaroli for the Oakland Athletics, has a pitcher batting card. And we'll explain how that comes into play when the pitcher comes up to bat. Leading off at the plate for the Athletics, we have Dave Collins. He had a .251 average with 4 homers and 29 RBI in 1985. Season Ticket Baseball is driven on a D6 plus D100 engine for that. So in this case, the game comes with I believe it's a red D6 and a white D10 and a blue D10. In this case, we're going to use black, white, and yellow dice, as the Pirates are our home team from winning the World Series. The D6 is used to determine where you go on the card for the result, and then the D100 is helping determine the number of the result. So each section, so on a 1 or 2 on the D6, we're going to the pitcher card, and we'll explain more about how that happens when we do. 3 to 4 sends us over to the batter card. A 5 will could send us to either the fielder card or for a rare play, and the 6 will send us over to the stadium sheet. So let's go ahead and jump into this first play. So Rick Ruschel has finished up his warm-up tosses, and Dave Collins is stepping into the batter's box. Ruschel will get the sign from Pena. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the first pitch of this demo game. The roll here is actually a 627. You read it as the D6, then whatever your designated tens digit is, and then your ones. In this case, you can use 2 separate colors of D6s, but what I'm doing is I've got a D10 that I'm using, and I'm just taking the first digit of that. So in this case, a 627 is going to take us over to, once I tap, actually I got to tap into Digital Diamond for a second so I can start the game. But while Digital Diamond catches up, we will come over to the stadium sheet to look at that as a 627, and the result there is going to be an F6. So what that means is that as Collins has popped that up on the infield, and moving under that one is going to be the catcher, Sam Khalifa. He'll make the catch, and that will be out number 1, and this demo game is officially underway. I'm also using Digital Diamond, which is my companion program, but you can't enter an F6 in Digital Diamond. You have to enter that as a P6. So while Digital Diamond catches up, we will adjust to 1 out. This out depth sheet is something I built. For inside pitch baseball, but I really like at least using the outs table and the infield depth on there. I use that for all of my baseball games now. Anyway, our next batter, once I get my laptop to cooperate with me, tabbing backup, OBS backup. Okay. Our next batter is Mike Heath. He had a .250 average, 13 home runs, 55 RBI in 1985. So Ruschel will once again get the sign from Pena. And as there's nobody on base, nothing else we're worried about here. So now we will have the next play. I should also mention before we have the next play that I am going to be a little bit more interactive with chat during the demo game than I will be when I'm playing this during my actual replay. During my replay, I'm only going to be checking chat every half inning. Whereas here, I'm going to be a lot more interactive with chat than I normally am. So just bear that in mind tonight. Anyway, coming back to our game, Ruschel will get the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. The result there is a 468. So this time the 4 sends us over to Heath's card, and we're looking at the split section. The split card, the split sheet on the batter's card is based on what handed pitcher you're facing. In this case, 𝐊𝐿𝐸 is a right-handed pitcher, so we go to the righty column. We drop down to 468, and we see a 2B with a CF in parentheses. What that means is Heath has a double out of that, and he could potentially extend that into a triple if he wants to challenge the center fielder's arm. In this case, the center fielder for the Pirates is going to be, it's not Jose Canseco, I know that much. The center fielder for the Pirates is actually Joe Orsulak. So what we can do here is we can go to his arm in center field, and we see he's got a 6. So Heath would have to challenge a 10 plus the fielder's arm rating. In this case, Heath has a speed of 2. So in other words, he'd have to beat a 16 with a speed of 2. He is going to park his happy self at second and be content with a 1-out double. I will enter that into Digital Diamond. Grab my pen so I can keep my score sheet as well. I am keeping a manual score sheet on paper because it's actually very annoying to not have Digital Diamond print out a full score sheet for you. But we are all set up there. So now the batter coming up is Mike Davis for the Athletics. He had a 287 average with 24 homers and 82 RBI in 1985. So now we have the possibility of doing some stealing with Heath. He's got a steal. Actually, I believe it's steal that he would have to challenge to try to establish the lead. So he's going to roll a steal rating versus the pitcher's hold rating. 𝐊𝐸𝐸's hold is an 8, though. So in order to get the jump on that, he would have to beat an 18 on the hold. He is not going to try to beat that. He is not going anywhere on that. When somebody comes up with a decent chance to steal, I will roll a steal to see to show you guys how that works. So now 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will turn his attention to Peña as Heath isn't going anywhere on the base paths. So 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will get the sign from Peña again with a runner at second base. He will set, and 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will pitch. After I pick up the D10s, after I pick up the tens digit D10, which once again, actually I'll show you this. So the D10s I use are all percentile dice. At least the tens dice I use are percentile. So that you can see here that that's a 20. So I just take the first digit of that, and then that's the result I use whenever I need it for something else. Anyway, 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will get the sign from Peña. He will set, and now here's the pitch. The result now is a 162. So that sends us over to 𝐊𝐸𝐸's card, looking at a 162, and we will see that as an F7. So Davis got under that ball. He's lifted that one into left field, and getting over to that one for the Pirates is going to be Kemp. He will make the catch, and that will be out number 2. Now Heath could try to challenge Kemp's arm, and it's the same way in stealing. So Kemp has an arm rating of 3 in left field. Heath would have to beat a 10 plus arm on his speed on, I believe that's a 2D10 plus a D6 roll. He'd have to get over a 13 in this case to advance to third base. I think with 1 out in the inning, though, you are going to stay put on that one. So we're going to go ahead and enter that as an F7. There will be 2. Davis will be out for the second out of the inning. Heath will stay at second base. And the batter now will be Bruce Bochy. He had a 295 average with 14 homers and 60 RBI in 1985. Once again, Heath could try to advance to third on a stolen base, but given his given his speed, I don't think that's a very good idea for him. So 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will turn once again and deal with Bochy. He will get the sign from Peña, and here comes the pitch. And we roll a 640. That sends us back to Three Rivers Stadium with a 640, and we'll see that the result there is a 3-6. So in this case, now these results in purple would be changed to a single plus if that infielder is playing in. In this case, the first baseman is not playing in, so that's actually going to be a ground ball over to first base. Getting to that one for the Pirates is going to be 𝐊𝐿𝐻𝐲𝐰𝐸. He'll actually take that over to the bag himself, and that will retire the side for the A's. While Digital Diamond catches up, we will say that the A's had a leadoff at a one-out double, but they couldn't do anything with it. Score is now Oakland 0, Pittsburgh coming to bat. Just checking with chat, make sure nothing's going on there. And then while the A's start getting loose, we will have our first look at the Pirates starting lineup. Before we do that, though, we'll meet Oakland's starting pitcher, 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. He had a 14-14 average in 1985, 4.46 or 14-14 record, I should say, 4.46 ERA, 226 innings pitched, 111 strikeouts, 78 walks, 23 homers in 1985. While he gets loose, we will meet the Pirates starting lineup. Leading off, we've got Steve Kemp. Let me get my score sheet up here for the Pirates. Steve Kemp over in left field. Denny Gonzalez is at third base. Mike Brown is in right field. Joe Orsulak is in center field. 𝐊𝐿𝐻𝐲𝐰𝐸 is at first base. Johnny Ray is at second base. Tony Pena is catching. Sam Khalifa is at shortstop. And Rick Ruschel gets another pitcher hitting card. So that is the lineup that 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 is charged with keeping in check in tonight's demo game. And leading off for the Pirates in this demo game, we have Steve Kemp. 250 average, 2 homers, 21 RBI in 1985. So 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 will turn to his catcher, Heath, to get the sign. He will set. Here's the windup, and here's the A's first pitch of this demo game. 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 rolls a 223, so that'll send us over to 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸's card. Similar to the pitcher cards, or similar to the hitter cards, the pitching cards are also divided into a section just on pitching, and then based on the handedness of the batter. So in this case, the 200 sends us into the split columns. 23 against Kemp, who's a lefty, that will be a strikeout. That'll be a K, so that'll be a strikeout. Swinging or called is a total flavor, is a total narrative detail in this game. I will also adjust that once I find my pen again. So Kemp will go down on strikes for out number 1 for the Pirates. And stepping into the batter's box now, we have Denny Gonzalez, 226 average, 4 homers, 12 RBI in 1985. 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 will look in at Heath for the sign once again. 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 looking around at Three Rivers Stadium. Fans are loud. They're excited that 1985 is about to start. Well, the 1985 replay is about to start January 1st. 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here's the pitch. And that will be a 610, which will be modified to a 620 as the home team is batting. So a 620 on here. We're going to see an F4 on the stadium sheet. Once again, that will be popped up to second base. Getting under that for the A's is going to be... Who is that for the A's tonight? That is Piccoli getting under that for the A's. There are 2 outs in the inning. So once again, you have to enter that as a P4 in Digital Diamond. 2 outs in the inning for the Pirates. And our batter now is Mike Brown. 332 average, 5 homers, 33 RBI in 1985. 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and once again, here comes the pitch. And we rolled a 186. That sends us over to 𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐸𝐸's card. As we drop down, we see a 1. Actually, let me make sure this is in focus so you guys can actually see what I'm trying to show you. So a 186 is a bloop 1B. So what that means is Brown's blooped that one in for a single. Unfortunately, I don't think there's a command for bloop single, so I just enter a 1B in Digital Diamond. Two outs in the inning, and the batter now is 𝐿𝐿𝐲𝐰𝐸𝐸. 300 average, no homers, 21 RBI in 1985. Brown is a pretty bad player to demonstrate steals with, so we're going to hold with him as well. In a normal game, I would definitely not be stealing with Brown. 𝐊𝐿𝐲𝐰𝐸𝐸 will now look it back into Heath once again for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. And we roll a 255. That'll send us back to 𝐊𝐿𝐲𝐰𝐸𝐸's card. 255, we see 𝐿𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸 as a lefty. A result like that is a 590X. So what that means is we keep the 5 and the 9 on the card, but instead we keep the 5-9 on the result, but instead we're going to be directed to in this case, we're going to be directed to the right fielder's card. The right fielder for the A's is Mike Davis. And we see a 592 is an F9 with an R3 question mark, exclamation mark. This part isn't relevant. All we need out of this play is the F9, because the R3 would only kick in if there's a runner on third base. Since there is not a runner on third base, we only need the F9. So that's going to get lifted into right field. Davis will get under that one for the A's, and that will retire the side. While Digital Diamond catches up, the Pirates similarly had a hit, but they couldn't do anything with it. We are scoreless here after 1. Just checking in with chat real quick, and stepping into the batter's box now for the A's is the ever-dangerous Jose Canseco. 302 average, 5 homers, 13 RBI in 1985. Now 𝐊𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸 into the top of the second inning. Each pitcher's given up a hit, but otherwise nothing else. So 𝐊𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸 will get the sign from 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿𝐿. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll here is a 253. That'll bring us back to 𝐊𝐿𝐸𝐸𝐸's card. Canseco's a righty, so a 253, when we find that, we find a K, and we find that Canseco has swung through a changeup for strike 3, and that is out number 1 in the inning. And Tony Phillips is next to step into the batter's box. 280 average, 4 homers, 17 RBI in 1985. 𝐊𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 will once again get the sign from 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸𝐸𝐸. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll here is a 414. That'll send us to Phillips's card. His splits are sensitive to if he's playing against a left-handed or a right-handed pitcher. In this case, 𝐊𝐸𝐸𝐸𝐸 is a righty, so we drop down, and a 414 gives us a 1B What that means is he's beaten out an infield single for a base hit, so he will have the second hit of the day for the A's. Let's see if there's a command for 1B IF. Yeah, there is, actually. Well, maybe not exactly how I wanted it to go, but it works. The batter now for the A's is Alfredo Griffin, the shortstop. 270 average, 2 homers, 64 RBI in 1985. The infield will go to double play depth. That is a narrative detail in this game. Infield in does matter. Double play does not, because you automatically assume that the infield is going to double play depth. Phillips is also not a decent one to demonstrate steals with. He will hold. Actually, I think we picked a tough pitcher for anybody to run on, at least for the Pirates. Or for the A's. We may have a chance of sending somebody for the Pirates, depending on what kind of situation. Actually, this is not a very fast lineup at all for the Pirates. So we may have to demo a steal just for the sake of it. Anyway, maybe if we get a good situation, like if it's getting a little bit later, maybe somebody's more willing to take a chance. So Ruschel right now will get the sign from Pena on this pitch. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 6:15. That'll send us back to the stadium sheet for Three Rivers Stadium. And we'll see a 6:15 is a K. So Griffin swung through a curveball for strike 3, and that is out number 2. And now the infield can play back now that the double play no longer matters, as Rob Piccioli steps into the batter's box. 275 average, 1 homer, 8 RBI in 1985. Ruschel will get the sign from Pena. Phillips is not going to try it. I'm not going to demo a steal here for the sake of it. Ruschel will set, and here comes the pitch. A 192 brings us back to Ruschel's card, and we drop down to see that a 192 is going to be a bloop single. In this case, everybody is going to advance 1 base. So that's just going to be a normal single. And stepping into the batter's box now is Chris Cottaroli. No individual batting stats for the pitchers, but I do want to explain the pitcher batting cards because they are a little bit different. So depending on if we roll a 3 result or a 4 result, we have to then check the pitcher's contact or eye rating, depending on which one we roll. And then depending what the respective rating is, that might give us that'll change what result we get based on the actual roll. So if we roll a 3 or a 4, we'll go through that in a little bit more detail. Anyway, the A's now have a kind of a bad situation. Three Rivers Stadium is now loud as the Pirates are hoping for a good pitch. So Ruschel, let me see if I can light up that batter card a little bit better. Probably not. Let me see if I can move this back just a little bit. Probably not, though. I'm not too worried about lighting up the pitcher batting card. If somebody wants to see it held up a little bit closer, and when it comes up, I'll actually go through explaining how everything works there. So Ruschel will get the sign from Pena once again. He will set, as it's a bit of a jam for Ruschel here with 2 outs. Ruschel will pitch. All right, that is a 168, so that'll send us back to Ruschel's card. And a 168 shows us that Ruschel dodged a bullet on that one. That's going to be flied into left field. And coming under that for the Pirates is going to be Kemp. He will get the catch on that one, and that will retire the side. 2 hits, but the A's are not able to do anything with them, as we are still scoreless heading into the bottom of the 2nd inning. A jam situation there for the Pirates, but Ruschel is able to pitch his way out of it, much to the relief of the faithful here at Three Rivers Stadium. Stadium size. Phew! That was most definitely a scary situation if you're a Pirates fan. Take a quick drink of my Crystal Light, and then we'll get into the bottom of the 2nd inning. As Cottaroli is now finishing up his warm-up tosses and leading off the bottom of the 2nd for the Pirates, we have 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿. 282 average, 1 homer, 9 RBIs in 1985. Cottaroli will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll is a 341. That sends us on to 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿's card, and we see a 341 is another 1B IF. So in this case, 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿's gotten on with a leadoff single. I'll get that into Digital Diamond. And the infield will move to double play depth, as the batter now is Johnny Ray. 274 average, 7 homers, 70 RBI in 1985. Now, I wouldn't be DJ John 4444 first to join us here at Three Rivers Stadium. Pronounced Ruschel. Love this game. Thanks for the pronunciation on that, and glad to know you love this game. Now, I probably wouldn't be stealing with 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐵 here with only a speed of 3, given that he's got to try to beat a that he would have to beat a challenge of 16 on this one. But for the sake of demonstration, I am going to show you how this works to try to establish a lead. So he's going to roll, he's actually going to roll 2d10 against the pitcher's hold rating. He's got a steal of 1. Actually, this is a terrible idea. But for demonstration's sake, I'll roll it for you. So on a steal of 1, he would have to try to beat a 16. So we're rolling 2d10. 8 and a 6 is 15, so that's close. But actually, it would have to be equal to or greater. So 𝐊𝐿𝐸 does not get the lead, which means he could try to steal. He would be challenging at that point the catcher's arm rating, which Heath's arm rating is a 6. So running on that is probably even worse, probably an even worse idea. But you'd roll for that. But without getting the lead, you would also roll, you wouldn't roll the d6. You only get the d6 if you establish the lead. 𝐊𝐿𝐸 in this case is going to stay put. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐨𝐫𝐿 will get the sign from Heath. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐨𝐫𝐿 will set, and he will pitch. Roll here is a 575. 5 is a unique case because it can send us to either a fielder's card or the rare play charts, depending on the 10's result. In this case, the 10's result is a 7, so that sends us over to the left fielder's card. The left fielder for the Athletics is Dave Collins. And as we drop down, we see a 575 is an F7++. That would be related to if there were any, actually, if there is a runner on first base, I believe the runner on first would hold on a ++. Let me just double check that here real quick. Runners R2 and R3s would tag in advance. So 𝐊𝐿𝐸 would hold in this case. So that'll be just a fly ball into left field. Coming under that will be, Collins will get under that one. He'll make the catch, and that will be out number 1. Oop. Get back here, Digital Diamond. I didn't tell you to leave. All right, that will be out number 1. Johnny Ray is retired, and the batter now is Tony Pena. 249 average, 10 homers, 59 RBI in 1985. Infield still at double play depth. 𝐊𝐿𝐸 not going to try to establish the lead again. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐴, though, will look into Heath for the sign. He will set, and here's the pitch. That's a 599. That'll send us over to the right fielder's card. The right fielder for the A's in this case is Mike Davis. 599 we see is a 1B plus R1 question mark. So what that means is Pena's hit a single on that one, and now we have a chance to try to advance against the right fielder's arm. The right fielder's got Davis has an arm of 3 against 𝐊𝐿𝐸 with a speed of 3. In this case, he would have to roll the d6 plus 2d10 and get greater than or equal to a 13. Given that I would have to try to be even on this one in a regular season game, I wouldn't do this. But for demonstration purposes, we are going to roll for it. So 𝐊𝐿𝐸 is going to try to challenge Davis's arm. So he's going to try to challenge Davis's arm. At least I believe it's a D. I could have done a bunt play here, but it's a little late to worry about that now. We'll try. Maybe we'll do that the next time it comes up. Okay, so you get the 2d6 and the d10. So we have to beat a 13 with 𝐊𝐿𝐸's speed to be safe at third. We see 8, 4, and 4, so 16 plus 3 is 19. 𝐊𝐿𝐸 will make it to third base. That's going to be a 1B R1++. So I'm also checking Digital Diamond because I want 𝐊𝐿𝐸 to end up at third. No. Undo last play. So this should end up with 𝐊𝐸 at third base. 1B ***. Let's try that. There we go. So 𝐊𝐸 to third, Pena to first, still 1 out in the inning. And the batter coming up now is Sam Khalifa. 238 average, 2 homers, 31 RBI in 1985. The infield now has a choice. They could play in, which could change some of the results, or they could try for the double play to get themselves out of the inning. I think given that it's still a 0-0 game here, do they concede the run here to try to get out of the inning? I think the answer here is no. They're going to play the... I think what they're going to do here is they're going to play the corners... they're going to bring the infield in to try to prevent the run from scoring. It's kind of 6 one way, half dozen the other in terms of the strategy implications here. So they are going to bring the infield in, which there are results on the cards that could change. I should have a reference here of, here we go, yep. So now I'm actually going to remember to designate if the runner goes on contact, and in this case, I want some way to indicate that the runner, whether the runner is going on contact or is not. Fortunately, I've got a way I can do that since we've got one out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this essentially, I don't necessarily want to call this a coin, but this is a flip token that I got from my advent calendar that I was cracking on the channel this month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. I'll make a note here. So if this side is face up, the runner is going on contact. If it's that, the runner is not going on contact. In this case, the runner is going on contact. They're going to try to score the run here against the infield in. So now Cataroli will get the sign from Heath. He will set with Khalifa at the plate, and here comes the pitch. All right, that is going to be a 348. That'll take us over to Khalifa's card. On his batting section, we see a 348 is a 1B IF. So I'm pretty sure that seems like a result that should change with the infield in, and shockingly it does not. So actually, let's see. That looks like it would be an infield single. I'm not sure if that changes anything with the runners or with the infield in. It doesn't seem like it does. So it seems like it's still going to be a base. It seems like it's still going to be a base hit, but the runner is going to score. Let me see if there's something in the rule book that lets me explains that a little bit better. So infield in. No, actually, it looks like on any hit, since the runner was going on contact, it looks like with the infield in, Mazzilli will score, and that will be 1-0 in favor of the Pirates. At least that's what I'm presuming here. So Mazzilli will score, and that will be 1-0 in favor of the Pirates. Stadium will cheer. Yay! Maybe there's a way to enter an infield single on... Does not look like it. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that. Anyway, our batter now, once we get Khalifa to second base, our batter right now is Rick Russell. And we don't need that token just yet because there is no infield, because there's no runner on third base right now. The infield will go to double play depth as Cataroli is very much in a jam right now. I'm just updating my score sheet. So Russell now stepping into the batter's box, and he might actually try to lay down a bunt here. I think with 2 outs, this is probably a great time to lay down a bunt. So and the infield is gonna bring the corners in, expecting the bunt. So the way we're going to roll the bunt, once I find here we go. So we're going to roll. So we've got a bunt chart for an offensive strategies, which we're going to roll plus Russell's bunt rating, which in this case is a 7. Wow, that looks like a really good bunt. So 7, 16, 22, 24. So we get that. All runners, so it looks like it's grounded right to the plate. All runners advance, batter out. if the arm, so everybody's going to advance, but Russell is going to make it to first. If the batter's out, if the arm, so if catcher's arm plus a 3d6 roll is greater than 10 plus the batter's speed, Russell's speed is a 3. Heath's arm is a 6. He seems like he's going to be likely to throw out. He seems likely to throw out Russell because he's got to beat a 13, and Heath is starting with a 6. Oh yeah, that's going to be a pretty easy throw out there for Heath, as I'm going to look for my pen. So there should be a command for a G2. There should be a command for a sacrifice hit in here somewhere. Yeah, so SH2. At least I believe that's the command in Digital Diamond. Let's find out. Let's check that out. Yep, perfect. So that's where we end up. 2 out in the inning, and the batter now is Kemp. Kemp tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 now in a bit of a jam, but he's got 2 outs in the inning. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 491. That'll send us over to 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸's card against, Kemp's card, 491. We see 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 is a righty. Sorry, I just got a message on Facebook. So a 491 on Kemp's card is going to be an F8++. That'll be a fly ball into center field. If there was less than 2 outs, runners on second and third would advance. But in this case, since there are 2 outs in the inning, it's just going to be a fly ball into center field. Coming under that for the A's will be 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1 run on 3 hits and a sacrifice bunt, though, will make it 1-0 in favor of the Pirates after 2. Okay. Sorry, just getting some messages on Facebook here, so don't be alarmed by the beeping you're hearing. And now I've got a car horn from one of my neighbors. Actually, it sounds like a car alarm, so delightful. Moving into the top of the third now, as the Pirates have taken the lead 1-0. Leading off the top of the third for the A's, we have, or not for the, let's adjust the pitcher, Phoenix. Still leading off for the A's, though, is Dave Collins. Will somebody please turn off that alarm? Dave Collins tonight is 0 for 1. He popped out his first time up. All right. Russell will get the sign from Peña. I still want to pronounce it Ruschel for some reason, but I'm used to seeing, I see an EU like that, and I immediately pronounce ugh. But I guess it's Rush. Okay. So Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 359. That'll send us to Collins' card. We see a 359 is going to be a 4-6. In this case, we're going to change that so it's a realistic play. That'll be a ground ball over to the second baseman, Ray. He'll flip that over to first for out number 1. One out in the inning, and here's Heath. Heath tonight is 1 for 1 with a double. Russell looking into Peña for the sign, hoping Heath doesn't reach base again. Russell will set, and here's the pitch. That is going to be a 112. That does not sound likely to put Heath on base. So a 112 on Russell's card, because the 1 on the D6 is going to send us there. That gives us a 3XX. So that'll send us over to Heath's card on a 3, keeping the other 2 digits. We see a 12. We see 312 is a K. So in this case, Heath is going to strike out with the bat on his shoulders for a called strike 3, and that will be out number 2. Again, in this game, the called versus swinging third strike is purely a flavor detail. 2 outs in the inning, and Davis is the batter. Davis popped out his first time up. Russell will get the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 346. That'll send us over to Davis's card. Let me bring OBS back up so I can make sure it focuses clearly. We see a 346 on Davis's card is a K. So similar to Heath, Davis got frozen by a slider for strike 3, and that will retire the side. While Digital Diamond catches up, I will build up that the A's went 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the third. As Digital Diamond catches us up to the bottom of the third, we will have the heart of the Pirates order coming up next. Gonzalez will step into the batter's box to lead off the bottom of the third. He popped out his first time up. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here's the pitch. Result there is a 112, which as we see on a 112 for 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸, that's a 1-3. So that will get grounded to 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. He'll flip that over to not Mazzelli. He'll flip that over to 𝐊𝐶𝐷 at first, and that is out number 1, and I'm probably pronouncing that name wrong as well. You'll have to bear with me on some of the pronunciations of these names, though. I was busy being born in 1985. Brown steps into the batter's box next. Brown is 1 for 1 with a single. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 now will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 507. Now the 507 actually sends us into the rare play chart, which is in the rule book, and I'm probably going to print this out separately so we consult based on our situation. So we see a 509, or 507 I should say, is sending us to the regular rare play chart. So we're going to re-roll and get our rare play out of this. As I'm trying to hold the binder in place. So the roll on there is a 473, which means we'll find the 473 rare play in here. So we're going to get a 450 to 499. That's going to be a 1B++ with an E9 question mark. So that is a single to right field. So Brown has already made it to first. And then we check the tens digit to see if that's higher than the right fielder's fielding rating. So in this case, the white die, which is our tens die, is a 7. And the right fielder for the Athletics is the right fielder for Davis the right fielder is Davis. His fielding is a 7. So it has to be higher, which means Brown will end up at first on the single. So in other words, there's no fielding error on the play. And Orsulak now stepping into the batter's box. Orsulak tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out his first time up. Infield is at double play depth. Again, totally a narrative detail in season ticket. It's all good. You enjoy the narrative. That's why you're here. Get 2 thumbs up. Glad to hear it. Thank you for the kind words on that, DJ John. Now, I think with a 1-0 lead, you wouldn't be stealing here. So I'm not going to take demonstration liberties just for the sake of the demonstration game. If the situation calls for a steal, we'll actually go through a full steal play. But in this case, given that Brown's only got a speed of 2 against a hold rating of 6, I'm not going to try to steal with Brown. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 will turn and look at Heath for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll there is a 649, which will change to a 659 since the home team is batting, and you'd add pitcher fatigue. We'll talk about pitcher fatigue when that starts to be a thing. So 659 on the So 659 on here is going to be a ground ball over to shortstop, and that result isn't purple. That would change if the infield is playing in. Since the infield is not playing in, we're going to take that result as is, because it's very realistic that you'd go throw the lead runner out. So they will take Brown, the out on Brown at second, and there will be 2 outs in the inning. And 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 will be at first. Infield can now play back now that they don't care about the double play. So that was technically a fielder's choice that 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 advanced on. Here's 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 stepping into the batter's box, though. 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 tonight is 1 for 1 with a single, and he scored the Pirates' only run. 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 just needs to get an out here to get out of the inning. So 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 will set after getting the sign from Heath, and here's the pitch. We roll a 364 coming off of 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿's card. We see a 364 is a BB. So 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 managed to work a 2-out walk out of the at-bat, and suddenly, once Digital Diamond catches up, we have got 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 in a bit of a jam with 2 outs. And the batter here now is Ray. Ray tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out his first time up. 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 now has got to be careful here. 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 228, which sends us to 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿's card. If you're batting a switch, you always assume they're batting on the opposite side. So a 228, which is what that was, we see that's an F5. But once again, when it's flown on the infield like that, it's actually popped out. So it's actually going to get popped up to third base. Phillips will come under that one for the A's. He will make that catch, and that will retire the side. Hit and a walk, but the Pirates are not able to do anything with it. Score remains 1-0 here after 3 in this 1985 demo game. And as everybody's watching this, hopefully you guys are enjoying this demo game. And for those of you who are familiar with season ticket baseball, I apologize that I'm playing this so slowly, but it is the idea of a demo game. Russell will make his warm-up tosses as I bring OBS back up. And leading off the top of the 4th for the A's, we have another name I'm probably butchering here, Bruce 𝐊𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐷𝐻. 𝐊𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐷𝐻 tonight is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third. Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, he will wind up, and here comes the pitch. That is a 330 coming off of 𝐊𝐴𝐴𝐶𝐷𝐻's card. We see a 330 is going to be a K. So he's going to get frozen with the bat on his shoulders for strike 3, and that will be out number 1. Much bigger threat in 91, but here's 𝐊𝐶𝐲𝐰𝐿. 𝐊𝐶𝐲𝐰𝐿 tonight is 0 for 1. He also struck out his first time up. Davo9, GLA now joins us here at Three River Stadium. Bhakti, thank you. I figured I was making a mess of these names. Again, 1985 names, not exactly my strong suit because I was born in 1985. So Russell will get the sign here from Peña against 𝐊𝐶ECO. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The result is a 489, which sends us to 𝐊𝐶ECO's card. He's looking against a righty. 489 is going to be an F8 ++ R1 question mark. The only part that's relevant here, because the bases are empty, is the F8. So that's going to be flown into center field. Coming under that one for the Pirates will be 𝐊𝐿𝐴𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐿. He'll make the catch, and that is out number 2. If the A's are looking for revenge from the 1991 World Series, they're not doing a very good job at it. Batter here is Tony Phillips. He had a single his first time up. If you're really slow, DJ John is really slow at learning this game, but what you've learned so far, you've enjoyed. Glad to hear that, DJ John. If there are any questions If there are any questions you have on Season Ticket, fire away. That's the idea of this demo game, to let you guys see how this game's played, and if there's anything you need clarification on, we can try to give you some clarification on that. So Russell will get the sign here from Pena. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 471. That brings us back to Phillips's card. We drop down to a 471, which is a 458 to 89. I'll bring that up a little bit closer. And he's against a righty, so that will be a fly ball into left field. Getting under that for the Pirates is going to be Kemp, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the A's here in the top of the fourth. And while Digital Diamond catches up, I will reset all of this. Pitcher fatigue is about to become relevant here, so I will walk you guys through how that works when that starts becoming relevant. So our leadoff batter for the bottom of the fourth for the Pirates is Tony Pena. Pena tonight is 1 for 1 with a single. Cataroli will look in at Heath for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll is a 331 coming off of Pena's card. We see a 331 is a 1B IF. So once again, Pena's beaten that out for an infield single, and he will lead off the inning at first base. Not that out. The infield will go to double play depth, and Sam Khalifa will be the batter coming up. Khalifa is 1 for 1 with a single of his own. He drove in Mazzelli back in the bottom of the second. So Pena, also not a big threat to steal. In a 1-0 game, though, he'd have to beat a hold of 16 is the problem. So I think they're going to leave him. I think they're going to leave Pena at first base. I don't think either of these teams is very good at running. So the Pirates are going to hold Pena at first base. Cataroli will turn and deal with Khalifa. He will get the sign from Heath. He will stretch, and here's the pitch. Result is a 625, which is going to get modified to a 635. The 6 sends us to Three Rivers Stadium. 635, we see that is an F8. So that's going to get flown into center field. Getting under that for the A's is going to be Canseco. He will make the catch, and that is out number 1. Stepping into the batter's box here, we have Rick Russell once again. Russell had a sacrifice hit his first time up. And they may try to learn, and they may try to lay down another, they may have Russell try to lay down another bunt here because he's got a bunt rating. I'll bring it up here. He's got a bunt rating of 7, so actually they might have a great idea trying to lay down another bunt with Russell. Good to know that people in 85 are playing cards and dice games, cards and dice baseball games. And actually, I kind of prefer cards and dice over digital. And I'm kind of getting a little bit weird with some of the tabletop, or with some of the sports games I picked up. I dabbled a little bit in video games back in the day, back in my younger days, but I'm kind of starting to prefer tabletop more and more, just because I really don't like having all those day one patches that I have to deal with on the video games. I mean, there are the video games I will pick up. There are definitely series of video games that I will pick up, but I'm generally more picky about those. So Russell is going to lay down the bunt and try to advance Pena over to second base. He's got a bunt rating of a 7. So once again, we've got our D6 plus 2 D10s. And Ben Witz is now joining us at Three Rivers Stadium. He just joined a few minutes ago, and he's gone from computer baseball to cards and dice and like it more. I'm kind of turning the same way as well, Ben, where I like the cards and dice sports games a lot better than your video games. Because there's a lot more versatile stories you can tell in cards and dice. Like if you want to have, say, a tournament of all of the World Series winners in you have in a system, easy to put something like that together. Or you want to have a greatest teams replay, very easy to do that as well. Whereas there aren't as many historical teams in video games. But let's say we come back to season ticket and let's have Russell try to lay down this bunt. So once again, we're rolling on the bunt chart with all of our dice plus his bunt rating of a 7. Totaling that up, we see another 10, which is a 17. So it's a possible fielder's choice back to the pitcher. You're more involved in not just watching letters and numbers on a screen. Yep, that's also true, and you like having physical products. Very true on all of that. So coming back to our play, we have a 17, which is a fielder's choice back to the pitcher. So unforced runners hold. Everybody's going to hold. Defense may take the automatic out at first or challenge any forced runner's speed with the fielder's arm. So 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸's got an arm of a 2. Peña's got a speed of a 3. I think they're going to take the sure out at first base. So Peña will advance. So Peña will advance to second on the sacrifice hit. And that's how we're going to roll that. 2 outs in the inning. So Russell gets down another good bunt. And stepping into the batter's box now is 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 is 0 for 2. Let's see, just catching up a chat. It's amazing how many different ways you can make a baseball game out of cards and dice. I know, I think I have like 4 or 5 of them here. I'm gonna protect some of my spoilers there, but I do have something else coming in. We'll unbox that a little bit later. I know I said I was going to do an unboxing after I got home, but I should mention that this is I was traveling earlier this morning, and I've been a little bit out of sorts. I was going to try to do an unboxing earlier this afternoon, but the day kind of got away from me a little bit. So I'm going to do that unboxing after this demo game's over. So after this demo game's over, and we've got a long way to go on this one, give me a little bit of a break, and then you guys can come back for a product unboxing. Coming back to our current game situation, though, Peña is going to stay put at second base. They're not going to try to run him out of the inning. 𝐊𝐶𝐷𝐿 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here's the pitch. The roll there is a 285, so we go to 𝐊𝐶𝐷𝐿's card against the lefty. We see a 285 against the lefty. Uh-oh. We get our first deep to right field, our first deep play. So that's a deep RF. That's sending us over to the stadium card, over to the stadium sheet, where each stadium has a deep drive chart. So since that was a deep RF, we're going to the deep to right field chart. Unfortunately for the Pirates, 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸's power is a 1. So we're rolling the 2d10. I didn't do any kind of temperature adjustment. I don't play with temperature. We're going to take his power plus a 2d10 roll. And based on the sum of that will give us our result. So we'll grab the d6 out and roll the 2d10s. And in season ticket, I should also mention that if you roll a 0 on the die like that, it's always a 0. It's not a 10. So a 1 plus 6 is going to be a total of 7, which deep to right field is going to be a fly ball into right field. So getting under that one for the A's is going to be Davis. He'll pull that one down, and that will retire the side. Single and a sacrifice hit, but the Pirates are not able to do anything with it. Score remains 1-0 Pittsburgh after 4. I'm just going to double check one thing here. Because pitcher fatigue is now starting to turn into a thing. So I want to make sure that pitcher fatigue starts after this inning and not during it, because we are in the top of the 5th inning, and 𝐊𝐶𝐷𝐿 is about to hit his fatigue inning. So let me double check how pitcher fatigue works. Like I said, I believe it starts the inning after, but I'm not 100% certain. Specifies the number of innings. Okay. So 𝐊𝐶𝐷𝐿 is not going to be entering his fatigue rating yet. Let's go Bucks. I see we've got at least one Pirates fan in the house. But it's all good. Glad you guys are enjoying the game tonight. And our leadoff batter for the top of the fifth for the A's is Griffin. Griffin tonight struck out his first time up. Russell looking in at Pena for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The roll there is a 390, so that sends us over to Griffin's card. We see a 390 is going to be a 1B plus. So that's not relevant since there are no runners on first right now, but Griffin will make it to first. Griffin will make it to first on the single. The plus would mean other runners would advance, but in this case, again, no runner on. And not so much a Bucks fan, just don't care for the Bay Area. Totally a thing. Infield will move to double play depth, and here's Picciolo. Picciolo tonight is 1-for-1 with a single. So the infield is at double play depth. Griffin is 1-0 game, and you're trying to 1-0 game. He's got a speed of 4. He'd have to beat a hold of 18. Griffin is not going anywhere. That would require some high rolling. Picciolo will wait for the pitch from Russell. Russell will get the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. The roll is a 342, so that sends us to Picciolo's card. We see a 342 is going to come off of 337 to 43. That'll be an F9, so that's going to get lifted into right field. Brown will come under that one. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 1. Picciolo. Okay, Picciolo. Thanks for the pronunciation again. So what did we say? F9. Okay. Told you I was making a mess of these names. And here's Cataroli. I hope I'm pronouncing at least that one right. Cataroli tonight is 0-for-1. He flew out his first time up. And Cataroli, is not a good bunter at all. So I think they're going to have him... 85 Pirates were awful. So I probably won't have to worry about seeing them again in the playoffs. Unlike the 91 Pirates, where they were, I wouldn't say unstoppable, but they ran into a little bit of trouble against the 91 A's in the World Series, but I don't think these 85 Pirates are going to do much. I had ChatGPT do some predictions for this, and I think they had the Pirates second from last in the NL East. So probably won't have to worry about much there. Anyway, Russell will get the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. That's a 457. So now we get to see how the pitcher batting card actually works. So on a 400, we're looking at the pitcher's I rating. In this case, his I rating is a 4. So a 457 is going to be a fly ball into... So he's a righty, so that's going to be a fly ball into... That's going to be actually popped up on the infield. Getting under that one at first base is going to be Mazzilli. He'll make the catch, and that will be out number 2. Thankfully, Digital Diamond is not making me do too many crazy things. Out number 2, yes. I was just terrible about updating my chart. And here's Collins in the batter's box. Collins tonight is 0-for-2. 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Pirates winning a nail-biter so far. Russell will get the sign from Pena. I still want to say Russell, but it's Russell. Russell. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 626, bringing us over to the stadium sheet. 626 is once again going to be popped up on the infield. This time, getting under that one at second base is for the Pirates is going to be Ray. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Single for the A's, but they couldn't do anything with it as we get ready for the bottom of the 5th. And now Cataroli is in his fatigue inning, so I will need to be very careful. I'll need to keep an eye on that. We'll see how pitcher fatigue works, I'm sure, here. Leading off the bottom of the 5th of the Pirates as we're getting ready for the heart of the Pirates order is Denny Gonzalez. Gonzalez tonight is 0-for-2. Cataroli looking into Heath for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 250, which will come off of 𝐊𝐿𝐴's card against a righty. 250 is going to be a 570, 57X. So that'll send us over to the left fielder's card. In this case, the left fielder for the A's is Collins. So if 572 is going to be a fly ball into left field, Collins may be ranging in a little bit for that one, but he'll make the catch, and that will be out number 1. As I'll let Digital Diamond have its chance to catch up. 1 out in the inning, and leading off the bottom of the 5th, we have Brown. Brown tonight is 2 for 2 with 2 singles, but he got thrown out on a fielder's choice in the bottom of the 3rd. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The result is a 560. The 5 sends us to a fielder's card. The 6 is the shortstop, so that will send us over to Griffin's card. And a 560 would be a 643 DP, except since there's not a runner on first already. Let me bring that into focus. Since there's no runner on first base already, that's going to get changed into a grounder to short. Griffin will pick that one up, throw that over to first, and that will be out number 2. Two outs, and the batter now for the Pirates is 𝐊𝐿𝐴. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 tonight is 0 for 2, but he reached on a fielder's choice in the bottom of the 3rd. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes me dropping a D10 again, but now here comes the pitch. That is a 698. Ooh. Bringing us back to Three Rivers Stadium once again. 698 is a BB. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will work a 2-out walk out of that at bat. As 𝐊𝐿𝐴 loses control of a changeup for ball 4, and 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will trot to first on a 2-out walk. Here's Mazzilli. Mazzilli tonight is 1 for 1 with a single and a walk. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 could try to steal, but no, they're not going to run themselves out of the inning. Of course, Mazzilli has next to no power. So 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here's the pitch. The roll is a 174, so that'll send us to 𝐊𝐿𝐴. And we see that's a WP for a wild pitch. So 𝐊𝐿𝐴 uncorks a wild one. 𝐊𝐴 will go to second, and that will be ball 1. Which means once Digital Diamond catches up, we will do that again. And similar to, I know that changed an inside pitch, but here I'm going with the old house rule that if you throw 4 wild pitches in a row, that is going to be a walk. So now with 𝐊𝐴 at second on the wild pitch, we will try again. This time it's a 185 off of 𝐊𝐿𝐴's card. 185 this time is going to be a bloop single. So we should end up with 𝐊𝐴 at third on the play. We should end up with runners at the corners with 2 outs. Let me just make sure that is what happens with Digital Diamond. Yep. And stepping into the batter's box now is Ray. Ray tonight is 0 for 2. Not having a good night tonight. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will look in. We now don't need that anymore. So 𝐊𝐿𝐴 will now get the sign from Heath. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 in a jam here in the bottom of the 5th. He will set, and here comes the pitch. Result here is a 442. That sends us to Ray's card against 𝐊𝐿𝐴, who's a righty. 442. We'll see that's going to be a ground ball over to third. Picking that one up for the A's is going to be Bhakti. He will take that over to the bag himself, and that will end the inning. A hit, a walk, and a wild pitch, but the Pirates are not able to do anything with it. Score is still 1-0 Pittsburgh after 5. While Digital Diamond catches up, I will get this all reset. And now Russell is in his last inning at full strength. So we'll start seeing how pitcher fatigue can affect the pitchers in this game. Leading off the top of the 6th for the A's, we're starting to have the heart of the Oakland order coming up as Heath steps into the batter's box. Heath tonight is 1 for 2 with a double. Russell will get the sign from 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. He will set, and here comes the pitch. The result is a 147. So on Russell's card, 147, we see that's going to get bounced right back to Russell. He'll take that, throw it over to 𝐊𝐿𝐸 at first, and that will be out number 1. Davis stepping into the batter's box next. Davis tonight is 0 for 2. Neither team having a particularly good offensive night, but hopefully you guys are learning a lot about Season Ticket for those of you who are curious about this game. Russell will get the sign from 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 for this one. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 344, so that's sending us over to Davis's card, and we see a 344 is a K, so he will actually get frozen by a changeup for strike 3, and that will be out number 2. And stepping into the batter's box now is 𝐊𝐸𝐸. 𝐊𝐸𝐸 is 0 for 2 tonight. Russell will get the sign from 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. Three Rivers Stadium, hoping to see another 1-2-3 inning. Russell will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 265. That'll send us over to Russell's card. 𝐊𝐸𝐸 is a lefty, so a 265 is going to be a strikeout, which means 𝐊𝐸𝐸 will swing through the high heat for strike 3, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the A's in the top of the 6th. And now we are in Cataroli's fatigue inning, so now we need to have a very close eye on anything that happens on the base paths. Leading off the bottom of the 6th for the Pirates, we have Tony 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐞𝐲 is 2 for 2 tonight with 2 singles. Cataroli will get the sign from Heath. Both pitchers are actually pitching decently well tonight. Just the Pirates happen to have a 1-0 lead tonight. Cataroli will set, and here's the pitch. That roll is a 209, which will send us over to Cataroli's card just barely. Against a righty, a 209 is going to be a 4XX, which will send us to 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐞𝐲's card with a 409. And we'll see against a righty, 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐞𝐲 is going to ground that one over to second base. Picking that one up for the A's at second base is going to be 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐻𝐞𝐲, and that will be out number 1. Let me catch up with Digital Diamond. And I see Ben has a question for me. Do I play any cards and dice basketball games? Of the big 4 games, of the big 4 sports, basketball, I would say, is the one sport I really don't want anything to do with, at least in terms of watching. And no, I don't play any cards and dice basketball games. I think just because I don't like basketball all that much, I've kind of shied away from looking for any basketball games. I don't know, just basketball was really never my thing. Anyway, stepping into the batter's box now is 𝐿𝐸𝐴. 𝐿𝐸𝐴 tonight is 1 for 2. Cataroli will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 288, so that's 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐫𝐝's card. How am I getting used to Digital Diamond Baseball? I think I'm pretty adept at Digital Diamond as long as I don't have to do anything ridiculous. Like if I don't have to do, say, a single into center field, runner scores, and the trailing runner gets thrown out. If I don't have to do something ridiculous, Digital Diamond is just fine. Davo9 says, same way with hockey, not his thing. Totally fair. Everybody's got their own opinions. A 288 against a righty coming back to this. Uh-oh. We've got another deep play. This one's deep to left field. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐫𝐝, though, has a power of 0. So now we're looking at what did we say? Deep to left field. Once you get used to the coding, 85 to 90% of the plays enter easily. Yeah, that's good to know. Let's see, coming back to this, that was going to be deep to left field. So now we're going back to... we're going back to the deep to left field. Unfortunately, 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐵's power is a 0. So we need to roll just the 2 D10s. We don't need the D6. So a 0 plus 6, that should almost certainly be an out of some kind. And yep, that will be flown into right field. Getting under that for the A's in left field is going to be Collins. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. And stepping into the batter's box now, I think they're going to let Russell hit. He's actually pitching a pretty good game tonight. He's got 2 sacrifice hits, though, so he's probably not going to be doing the best in the world here. But 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐵𝐝 will look into Heath for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is a 465, so that'll come off of Russell's batting card. 4 sends us to his I rating. Russell's I is a 3, so a 465 is going to be popped up on the infield to first base. Coming under that for the A's is going to be 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐵𝐝. He'll make the catch, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates in the bottom of the 6th. Score is now 1-0. Score is still 1-0 Pittsburgh after 6. We really haven't had much going on since that run scored back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Seems like it's almost been a lifetime ago with how long this stream's been going, but I don't mind it. I mean, it's a chance for you guys to see the game, see how it plays. It does have a flow to it once you get it going, but I'm playing slow. I'm playing slow and steady because this is a demo game, and I want you guys to see as much of it as possible. Russell now is fatigued, is going to be vulnerable to fatigue, so we'll probably get to see how that works here pretty soon. Stepping into the batter's box to lead off the top of the 7th, we have Jose Canseco. Canseco tonight is 0 for 2. Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, let's see. Personally, you love hoops and bank shot basketball. Grew up with Status Pro. Strat's a good game, but takes a long time. Let's see. Are hoops and bank shot both by Sideline Strategy, DJ John? I've looked off and on at their stuff, but I don't remember off the top of my head if Sideline Strategy does both hoops and bank shot. But let's get a pitch from Russell to Canseco. Pitch there is a 190. So that'll come off of Russell's card. 190 is going to be a bloop single, which means Canseco will reach with a 1-out single. Or with a leadoff single, I should say. And now how pitcher fatigue works in Season Ticket is every time a pitcher allows a base runner inside the paint and replay, both look interesting too. Okay, good to know. So now the way... Let's see. Just got this month's Sideline Strategy Games Basketball and Inside the Paint. Hoops is ASG. Good to know. Same ones who do Fall Classic. Just got Sideline Strategy Games Basketball and Inside the Paint. Both are fun, but take a long time to play out, even just 1 quarter. That, Ben, was actually part of my hesitation with Cards and Dice hockey games until I found Strat. Strat actually plays pretty quickly, as you probably saw during my replay of the 2017-18 Stanley Cup Finals, but I'm getting off topic. So the way the progressive fatigue system in season ticket looks very interesting. So the way the progressive fatigue system works is every time a pitcher is past their fatigue inning and allows a base runner, you give them a number on that. And then you have to kind of play it by ear in terms of when you pull them out. But the main way that the fatigue system can affect you is when you go to the stadium sheet, you'll add 5 per point of fatigue you have. So let's say, so pause for a second. Let's say I roll a 642, for example. So if I go to Three Rivers Stadium, the 642 would become a 647 since Russell now has 1 point of fatigue on him. It doesn't completely devastate pitchers the way I've seen other systems do, but it does give you something to be careful of. So now coming back to our game, Russell has 1 point of fatigue. The infield is at double play depth of the Pirates, and Phillips is the batter. Phillips tonight is 1 for 2. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐶𝐬 is not a steely threat at all. So Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, and here comes the pitch. Pitch there, actually speaking of that, the result is a 617, but because Russell has 1 point of pitcher fatigue on him, that 617 is going to become a 622, which brings us back here. That will be instead of being a strikeout, that'll be popped up on the infield to second base. Getting under that one at second base for the Pirates is going to be Ray. He'll make the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. And DJ John says to give Up-Tempo actually, he's saying give Up-Tempo a go, but there's a game called Up-Tempo that's more quick play. So give it a go, you'll pick up the pace. Next in the batter's box is Griffin tonight. Griffin is 0 for 1. 1 out in the inning, the infield is still at double play. Inside the paint is exclusively FAC. I know inside the crease is exclusively fast action cards as well. Anyway, coming back to our game, Russell gets the sign from Peña. He will set, and here comes the pitch. All right, that is a 550, so that'll send us over to the third baseman's card for the Pirates. The third baseman for the Pirates is Gonzalez. And we see a 550 is going to be grounded right over to him. That's a 543 DP. So Gonzalez is going to take that one, fire that over to Ray at second. He'll turn, fire that over to Mazzelli at first, and that will be an inning-ending double play. As the stadium will cheer. Yay! And now we are at the 7th inning stretch. As usual, I will not torture you guys with a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but I will take a small break. I'll still interact with chat, but I do need to catch up on getting a drink at least. And yes, that was a very nice play at the hot corner. We are rapidly coming up on opening day for my 1985 season replay. Opening day is going to be January 1st. We're going to start off with having at least 2 blocks on the day because that's my last day off for the year. So we are going to have at least 2 blocks in my 1985 season replay. We'll explain more about how it's actually going to work when we get there. But I've also got Fast Score all ready to go, and I've got feature games selected and printed through September. So we are going to be, we're into September with feature game selections. So we're all set for the 1985 replay to get started. Coming into the bottom of the 7th for the Pirates, Chris Cotteroli is still on the mound. Who needs all those American modified rugby bowl games for New Year's? Yeah, I know it's crazy. Anywho, stepping into the batter's box for the Pirates, we have 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. 𝐊𝐿 tonight is 0 for 3. He's having actually, everybody seems to be having a rough night. Cotteroli gets a sign for Heath. He will set, and here comes the pitch. Play there is a 409. 4 is going to 𝐊𝐿's card against a righty. 409, that will be a BB, so 𝐊𝐿 will work a leadoff walk out of the at-bat, and Cotteroli now has his first point of pitcher fatigue. Infield will go to double play depth for the A's, and the next batter here is Gonzalez. Gonzalez tonight is 0 for 3. Neither team apparently wants to hit the ball tonight. 𝐊𝐿. Actually, it's a 1-0 game. I think 𝐊𝐿 is going to try to establish the lead here to try to steal and move into scoring position, although Gonzalez has got great home run power. So he's going to try to establish the lead. He's got a lead of 0, or a steal of 0, so never mind. That's a terrible idea, trying to challenge a hold of 16. And besides, Gonzalez has got great home run power, so he's going to swing away. Cotteroli will get the sign. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is going to be a 206, which will come off of Cotteroli's card, which will be a... So we see a 206 against a righty. That's going to be a 406, which will send us to Gonzalez's card. Against a righty, 406. Gonzalez is now going to work a walk of his own out of the at-bat. And Baseball Demos is doing a 1987 Tigers game. I understand if you had a drop for the 87 Tigers, Ben. Hopefully you enjoyed what you saw of this demo game, and hopefully we'll see you around during my 1985 season replay when it actually starts. So 𝐊𝐿 will go to second, Gonzalez will go to first, and Cotteroli now has 2 fatigue points, now that he's allowed 2 base runners. Batter for the Pirates now is Mike Brown. Brown tonight is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. And we hear Three Rivers Stadium starting to stir a little bit. Cotteroli in a bit of a jam here. He will look to Heath for the sign. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 209 for Brown, which against a righty is going to be a K. Much to the relief of the A's bench, Brown will go down on strikes. Stadium groans. Ugh. Not happy with that one at all. And 𝐊𝐿𝐸 now steps into the batter's box. 𝐊𝐿𝐸 tonight is... His Demos is great. Yes, he is. 𝐊𝐸𝐸 is 0 for 2 with a walk and reached on a fielder's choice. 𝐊𝐿, still not a threat to do much on the base paths. Cotteroli will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 553. That'll send us over to the third baseman's card. Third baseman for the A's tonight is Phillips. And we see a 553 is going to just miss being a double play to get the A's out of the inning. That'll be a ground ball over to third. And I'm going to roll a die on this one. I feel like they might take... Actually, would they take the lead runner here? Maybe a... I think the way I'm going to do that, and I don't know if there's a way... So if that's a 5-3, it wouldn't make... If it's being hit right to him, it wouldn't make sense to me. I'm just going to rule that he takes the... I'm just going to rule that he takes it to the bag himself at third. Because I feel like that's probably the more logical play here. Is he would take that to the bag himself to take the lead, to get the lead runner out. That's what I'm going to go with here. No, I wanted the, so actually I'm gonna have to redo that play, because what I wanted to do here is I wanted to take it to the bag himself. Because I feel like logically in this situation, he would probably take the out at third, especially if it's being hit right to him and he's trying to get the lead runner. No. What I'm trying to do here is I want it to be grounded to third, and he takes it and he throws the lead runner out. That's what I'm trying to get to here. I guess it's probably just a sacrifice. I guess it's probably a sacrifice hit, but I still feel like in that situation, if it's grounded right to him, he would probably throw the lead runner out. I'm just looking at this. So should be... Let me see if I can figure this out. Makes sense, especially with a slow runner. That's what I'm trying to do, but I'm having problems for some reason entering that into Digital Diamond. Let me see if there's something here. Let's see. So we should end up with... ID Jester now joins us here at Three River Stadium for the 1985 demo game. Jester, you might know how to do this. So I just ended up with a situation with a ground ball to third base, and I'm trying to have them take the lead runner at third base to have the third baseman take it to the bag himself and take the lead runner out. I'm trying to figure out how you do that in Digital Diamond. Good thing I'm running a demo game for this. I'm trying to use logic here in some of this, because like I said, I figure... Let's see if I can enter this again. So we want... So Orsolek, this should be a G5 R2X is what I'm trying to get to. So the runner on second should be out, where I'm trying to end up. No. No, I don't think it would be G5 star. Because what I'm trying to get to, like I said, I'm trying to get to a ground ball to... I'm trying to get... It wouldn't be G5-4, because what I'm trying to get to, ground ball to third, runner at third out is where I'm trying to go with that. Like I said, in this situation, I feel like they would take the lead. They would take the lead runner and get him out, is what I'm trying to get to. Especially with Kemp was the runner at second, and he's got a speed of 3. I don't know if that would be a challenge necessarily. I'm not ruling it as a challenge, but I'm trying to get it into Digital Diamond correctly. So let's go. So G. Runner on second is out at third, so maybe a G5. Okay, so let's try G5-5-4. G5, maybe G5-5. Let's see if that does it. There we go. Okay, so yeah, G5. So okay, we got it. G5-5 is how it should have ended up. Got that. Well, I tried G5U first. That ended up with a throw to first, but G5-5 is actually what I needed to put in to end up with the lead runner out. So now we've got 2 outs in the... So now after that mess, we've got 2 outs in the inning, and the batter now is 𝐊𝐿𝐸. 𝐊𝐿𝐸 tonight is 2 for 2 with 2 singles and a walk. Cataroli with a fatigue rating of 2. But Cataroli will look into Heath for the sign. He will set, and here's the pitch. We are going to be looking at a 559, so that'll send us to a fielder's card. 5 is the third baseman. Third baseman for the A's is Phillips. And that's going to be an E5, which means everybody's going to be safe on as Phillips boots the ball. Bases are going to be full of Buccaneers once Digital Diamond gets caught up. And that's our first error on either team. That'll bring Cataroli up to a fatigue rating of 3, and we're going to get some activity in the A's bullpen. Now, similar to the called strike 3 and the double play, this is totally a narrative detail, but it is something I like to do. I like to get pitchers warming up for at least an inning or for at least a batter or two. The A's are going to get Steve Ontiveros warming up in their bullpen. And as the bases are full of Buccaneers, the batter now is Johnny Ray, who's really got no power. Well, he's got some power. Ray tonight, though, is 0 for 3. Cataroli trying to get out of a jam. Cataroli will look in at Heath for the sign. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That is going to be a 361, which will come off of Ray's card. A 361 is going to be a fly ball, is going to be an F9, so that'll be flied into right field. Getting under that one for the A's and making the bench sigh in relief is going to be Mike Davis. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. 2 hits, or 2 walks, an error, and the Pirates can't do anything with it. Score is still 1-0 Pirates after 7. Stadium groans. Ugh. We're also going to get some activity in the Pirates bullpen, as starting to get loose for the Pirates is going to be... They're going to get Pat Clements warming up in the Pirates bullpen, just in case Russell starts to run into trouble. Leading off for the A's is going to be 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸. 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 tonight is 1 for 2 with a single. Russell trying to get a little deeper into this game before he turns it over to the bullpen. He's got 1 point of pitcher fatigue. Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That's going to be a 425, which will come off of 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸's card against a righty. 425 is going to be a ground ball over to third. Is a 5-4, ground ball over to third. Picking that one up is going to be Gonzalez. He will throw that over to Mazzelli, and that is out number 1. Cataroli is going to come out of the game. Coming into bat for the A's will be... We're going to pinch hit for Cataroli here. I'm just deciding who they're going to bring in to pinch hit. I think the A's are going to bring in... Dusty Baker to pinch hit. Oh, wait. Hold on. Oh, it looks like I forgot to pull 𝐊𝐞𝐲𝐰𝐸 off. So Dusty Baker is going to pinch hit. All right, Dusty Baker with a 268 average, 14 homers, 52 RBI in 1985. Russell will get the sign from Peña, holding on to a 1-0 lead. Russell will set, and here's the pitch. That's a 605. That'll become a 610 because of Russell's fatigue. And a 610 is going to be a called strike 3 on Baker. And that's 2 outs in the inning. Once I get Digital Diamond all caught up. Collins now the batter for the A's. Collins tonight is 0 for 3. Russell will get the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. That's going to be a 3-13, which will come off of Collins' card. We see a 3-13, means Collins is going to swing through the slider for strike 3, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the A's in the bottom of the 8th. And Digital Diamond is yelling at me that the A's need a pitcher. So the A's are going to go once Digital Diamond decides it wants to cooperate with me. The A's are going to go to Steve Ontiveros, 1-3 with a 1.93 ERA, 36 strikeouts, 19 walks, and 4 homers in 1985. And leading off, let's switch the sheets. Leading off for the Pirates in the bottom of the 8th is Tony Pena. Pena tonight is 2 for 3 with 2 singles. Ontiveros will get the sign from Heath. He will set, and here's the pitch. That's a 437, which comes off of Pena's card against a righty. 437 would be a 6-4-3 DP, but because there's no runner on first, that's going to get changed to a ground ball to short. Griffin will pick that one up. He will throw that over to first, and that's out number 1. And that's one of the things I like about Season Ticket is if a result isn't realistic, you can always change it to make it realistic. At least have some kind of context. So like a 6-4-3 DP can get changed to a ground ball to short if there's no runner on first like that. Batter now is 𝐊𝐿𝐴. 𝐊𝐿𝐴 is 1 for 3. Ontiveros looking in at Heath for the sign. He will set, and he will pitch. That is a 581. That'll send us to the center fielder's card. Center fielder for the A's is 𝐊𝐴. 581 is going to be a fly ball actually into left field. Center field. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, 𝐊𝐴 will pick that one up, and that will be out number 2. And with a 1-0 lead, the Pirates are actually going to let Russell bat. They're going to let him try to finish this game. Clemens is up just in case Russell runs into trouble. Russell tonight is 0 for 1 with 2 sacrifice hits. Ontiveros will look in at Heath for the sign. He will set, and here's the pitch. That's a 512. That'll send us to Ontiveros' card with a 512. That'll be grounded right back to the pitcher. He will throw that over to first, and that will retire the side. 1, 2, 3 go the Pirates in the bottom of the 8th. Score remains 1-0 Pirates after 8 in this 1985 demo game. But will we see some 9th inning magic? There's only one way to find out, and that's going to be to play out the bottom of the 9th. Or the top of the 9th, I should say. Leading off the top of the 9th, we have Mike Heath. Heath tonight is 1 for 3 with a double. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this demo game for Season Ticket Baseball, and I'm hopefully not screwing too much up. Russell will get the sign from Heath, or not from Heath, from Pena. Heath would love to get the sign from Russell. Russell gets the sign from Pena. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 417 coming off of Heath's card against a righty. We see a 417, once again 643 DP, but that'll turn into a ground ball to short. Getting to that one is going to be 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿. He'll make the play for out number 1. Davis now steps into the batter's box. Davis tonight is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Russell trying to go the distance here in this 1985 demo game. He will set, and here's the pitch. That is a 692. That's going to turn into a 697 because of Russell's fatigue, and a 697 will be a BB. So fatigue actually helps him out here a little bit, because a 692 would have been a double, but a 697 is going to turn into a walk, which will still hurt his fatigue rating, but it'll keep the situation a lot more manageable. The infield will go to double play depth as 𝐊𝐿𝐿 steps into the batter's box. He's always a threat. 𝐊𝐿𝐿 tonight he's pretty quiet tonight, though. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Davis, do we actually try this? No, we don't try this, because he'd have to, with his steal of 5, he'd have to beat an 18. I think trying to steal here is tempting, but it's actually a very stupid idea. So as I mentioned earlier, to establish the lead, you'd roll 2d6 and add the runner's steal rating to essentially challenge the hold rating, which in this case would be 10 plus hold rating. So Davis would have to roll at least an 18 with all of that to establish the lead. Then he'd have to roll against the catcher's arm, which Peña's arm is a 6 against his speed. So he'd be trying to steal into a 16. We're not going to do that. Russell will get the sign from Peña. He will set, and here's the pitch. Now that's trouble. 697 plus 10 is a 707. And we're going to see that a 707 is a deep CF, so we've got a deep drive, which means 𝐊𝐿𝐿 seems like he's got a hold of one deep to center field. So now we're consulting on this chart. We add his power of a 7 to a 2d10 roll. Seven plus 8 is 15, and we see that instead, 𝐊𝐿𝐿 lifted that one into center field. Getting under that for the Pirates was going to be 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿, I believe. Yes, 𝐊𝐿𝐿𝐿 will get under that one. He'll make the catch, and that's out number 2. There was let me just double check there. So 8 and 7 is 13. That's an F8 plus. So presumably, when it's a fly ball like that, I think the only runner 3 would tag up. So never mind. That's going to be an F8. 𝐊𝐿𝐿 will fly out. And the last chance for the A's in this demo game comes down to Jose Canseco. Canseco tonight is 1 for 3. A's trying to extend this demo game. Russell trying to end it. Russell gets the sign from Peña. Looks over to Davis at first. He will set, and here comes the pitch. That's a 508, which will be a rare play with runner on first base. 508 is going to send us to the rare play chart. 508, regular rare plays with 2 outs. So now we get the roll. That's going to be a 462, which a 462 is a 1B plus E9 question mark. Single to right field. Hold on. Just finish your tier ranking of all 662 of your games. 3 hours in and now you're done. Wow, that's crazy, Jester. Let's see, runner on first with... we need the runner on... No, we need the regular... Runners on first and third. Okay. So yeah, we need the runner on first play with 2 outs. That was a 469 we said. That's a single to right field. if white die is higher than the right fielder's rating, which a 6, right fielder is brown, his fielding is a 6, so Davis is going to hold at second, which means Canseco will be at first with a single. So that'll just be a regular single. Actually, 1B plus plus. So it looks like on a 1B plus plus, Davis is going to end up at third with 2 outs. Yep. And that will bump Russell's fatigue rating to a 3. And now we come to Tony Phillips. Phillips is 1 for 3 with a single, but I think that is going to be it for Russell. He's gotten into a little bit too much trouble. So they're going to bring in Pat Clements to try to finish this game off. Russell is not going to be happy about being taken out, but I don't think the Pirates want to take a chance here. At least I thought... Yeah, here he is. I thought he was available. Yeah, Russell's probably going to be livid that he got taken out of the game, but I don't think the Pirates want to take any chances here. So they're going to try to... So the Pirates are going to go to Clements to try to finish this game. Clements will get the sign from Pena. He will set, looking at runners at the corners. Clements will kick. He is eligible for fatigue immediately, by the way, so hopefully that won't be a thing. But Clements will pitch. Result is going to be a 373 off of Phillips's card. A 373 is going to be grounded over to second. Picking that one up at second base is going to be a 4-6. Ray will pick that one up. He will throw that over to Khalifa, and that should be the game. And the Pirates win this demo game 1-0. Final line score coming up. Hopefully it'll give me... Well, it looks like it's going to be 1 run. Actually, for the Pirates, 1 run on 7 hits and no errors. For the A's, no runs on 6 hits and 1 error. Winning pitcher in this one, let's see if it'll give me a box score here. Probably not. But the winning pitcher should end up being Rick Russell. Chris Cottaroli will end up with the loss, and Pat Clements will end up with the save. Let's see if it gives me the actual box score for this one, just to make sure I have the pitching stats and all that straight. Yep, Russell ends up with the win, Cottaroli with the loss, and Pat Clements with the save. And that will do it for this demo, for the 1985 demo game in Season Ticket Baseball. Hopefully, if you guys were new to Season Ticket Baseball, you learned a lot about the game, and hopefully you guys will join me when my 1985 season replay starts on January 1st. I can tell you the first game that we're featuring for that is the Cleveland Indians at the Detroit Tigers. Bert Blyleven going for the Indians, and Jack Morris going for the Tigers. In more immediate concerns, though, probably tomorrow afternoon I'll start it in the morning, but Mystical Munchies will finish out of the Magic the Gathering Cuisines of the Multiverse cookbook with the dessert Heart and Soul Babka. 1-0 game. Haven't had that many low-scoring games. Did you get the email? Did I get the email you sent about the top 100 games? I did see that. That we're changing up the scheduling on that. We're not doing that collaboratively. We're going to do that individually. I kind of figured that was coming just because I knew, and we talked about this in one of my earlier streams, with the 1985 replay starting up, I knew my availability was going to go to hell on that one pretty quickly. So it probably works out this way that we're going to do it individually. Anyway, I forget exactly off the top of my head what game we're playing tomorrow afternoon, but we'll be playing something. I'm not sure what that is yet. And then Saturday, there's going to be another baseball day, as on Saturday morning, actually we're going to be doing two 2011 games. First we'll be doing Inside Pitch Baseball, and then on Saturday afternoon, I'll be unboxing the game we'll be playing on Saturday afternoon. I'm not going to get spoilerific on that. All I'll say is that it's another baseball game, and there's a little bit of backstory behind that one. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care, everyone.